Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the Mari Mukunda show on at this lovely Thursday. The weather is okay in Gauteng, but it is getting colder as the cold front creeps in. So we're going to be chatting about parenting in the 21st century. And joining me today is Imran Chunara and Mamulipe Sehome. Both are parents, and I'm a parent as well. And parenting in the 21st century, well, there are ups and downs, there are challenges, but in fact, there are articles, there are books, there are seminars, there are everything that can tell you about parenting, but nothing beats experience. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to both of you, and thank you for joining me.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
All right, I'm going to start with Imran. There are different parenting styles out there, and from all the books that we've read about parenting, we've come across something that is called an authoritarian, authoritative, permissive, and uninvolved. So, what is your parenting style, or have you found your parenting style? Does it fall in any one of these four?
Miriam, first of all, I've got a 22-year-old daughter, I've got a 19-year-old daughter, and I've got a 15-year-old son. And let me tell you, what you've just mentioned right now, I have no concept about this style or that style or that style. Here's my take on parenting. And to be honest, I speak a lot about this. I have a passion for it. I'm a very involved father. From the day my daughter was born, I decided to be involved in their lives all the time and be, committed as a dad. First of all, here's my take on parenting. In the 21st century, it's the best thing ever. It's not, yes, it comes with its challenges. Don't get me wrong, but it's all about your attitude as a parent. If you choose to be involved, then you will understand parenting. You will learn it. You will make the effort. You will actually try to understand your children. Parenting is not about trying to apply your style that you were parented 30, 40 years ago to your children today. That's the dumbest thing ever when you think about it. I'm 46. Now, if I'm trying to bring up, let's say, a 15-year-old or something today, like my son, I'm 31 years older than him. 31. That's incredible. Which means I was 15 years old 31 years ago. If I try to think about the way my dad brought me up and I try to apply that logic to now, and that's what most parents do, well, that's the way I was brought up. Well, that's nonsense. You don't apply the way you were brought up to the way you bring up your children today. It's a different time. It's a different era. They've got different challenges. I really feel for children nowadays because they've got so much to deal with. Now, each generation has its drama. When I was a 15-year-old, we had a lot to deal with. Nowadays, 15-year-olds have a lot to deal with. So, I kind of move away from, just to answer your question, this thing about trying to label a style of parenting. If I had to label it or put some comment to it, I would say be very involved, understand, and make it your responsibility as the adult to understand the child. Don't make it their responsibility to understand you.
And Mamude Fair, what is your take on this, parenting the 21st century, as well as your parenting style, if you have a parenting style? Okay, I think Momolefe is having a network problem, but let's continue with you, Imran. You spoke about challenges, that there are different challenges of being a parent in the 21st century. So what are some of them? Just take us through some of the challenges that you faced.
I think, when you look at social media nowadays, when I was 15, I didn't have social media. So, when I was 15, I often and I think about this all the time. If your daughter, my daughters, okay, now my 22-year-old actually just got married about a week and a half ago, alhamdulillah. And now we've got a 19-year-old daughter with me and my 15-year-old son. And let me tell you, when I was young, when I was in my, which I'm still incredibly young actually, but when I was a teenager, I was, if I was in my bedroom upstairs, my father knew I was safe. For example, if I was in his home, I was safe. However, today, your daughter, your son can be in their bedroom, in your home, and they can be lost because of the internet, social media, etc., etc. So nowadays, more than ever, it's important for a parent to understand. When parents say to me, "Oh, yeah, but I don't really understand those social media things," I'm like, "You better understand it if you have children." because it's your responsibility to understand Instagram, WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook as a parent. I mean, I'm active on Instagram. I'm active on social media. Why? Because I want to know what my kids are experiencing. I don't have to police them, because let me tell you, if you tell your children things like, don't go on Instagram, hey, don't go on social media, it's bad for you. Do you really think they're not going to go on social media? Of course they're going to go on social media. You just don't know about it. I'd rather know about it. I'd rather understand social media so that I can help them learn how to be discerning. You see, you should not be making your decisions for your children's decisions for them. You should be equipping them with the discernment of how to decide between right and wrong, so that when you are not there, which you cannot be there all the time, they will understand a value system that they make the decisions from. So as a parent, your responsibility is not to control their decisions, but rather to impart a value system on them. And you don't teach a value system. You model a value system.
And it also comes down to them. If you say no to them, they're going to rebel, and they're going to do it anyways, and they're going to block you on all of those social media platforms that you won't have no way of tracking the activities that they do. Okay, Mamolefa is back. Thank you for joining me. What is your take on parenting in the 21st century?
I think that's the only thing I know, because it's because I'm a parent in the 21st century. I can't really go as far back as when I was being parented. I lie. But yeah, I think, what we need to, I agree with Imran in a lot of things, that, this thing of us trying to box parenthood and say this is authoritative, this is whatever, laissez-faire, whatever they call it, like you're talking about politics in a house. I think that's most of the time what we get lost in, rather than actually being parents and actually being led by our kids to being parents. I think a lot of the times for me, because let's agree that when you have your first child, you haven't had experience of parenthood. You've had experience of being a child under your parent, but you've never had experience of being a parent. So basically, you depend on your kids. I know I depend on my kids to help me be the parent that I am. We try, but usually I'm led by them. And I think, especially when you are Muslim, I find it very challenging. When I started being a parent, and I was trying to model myself to be a proper Muslim parent. And what would that mean? It means, you have to follow this. You get so lost in following a lot of things. Whereas some things, I believe they are inborn. These things were written, the ink has dried, the pen has been lifted. So most of the time we concentrate on who says about parenthood, more than actually being in the moment of being a parent and actually allowing ourselves to be led by our kids. I won't lie, my kids help me to be the parent that I am. And I think that's what we need to get into, because then they will also lead you sometimes earnestly into places where they don't want you to go. And that's where you pay attention. The most important thing is pay attention, but show them love. We mustn't act like it's the parliament in the house. You need to, I believe in having fun, being a child yourself as a parent when you parent. Because that's the one way that we break that wall between parents and kids, and they can come to us and actually engage with us, on a level, on an equal footing, where they can actually call you out with respect when they think you're wrong, where they can actually quote a hadith for you when you're telling them don't do something. Like recently, I had an incident where they actually had to make research for something that I said no to. And they presented me with hadith, and what could I say? So that's what I mean by we need to allow ourselves to be led by our kids to be good parents.
All right. I am still a parent. I'm a parent to a 2-year-old, so I'm still new in this game. I have no idea. I'm learning along the way. And well, thanks to both of you that you can share your tips and advices with me, and for the rest and those who are also interested in becoming parents. Now, Let's talk about parenting your kids and how do you raise them with the foundation of Islam. I know we are Muslims, and the first thing, the main thing is we have to raise our kids with Islam. So then let's go to you, Brother Imran.
Well, first of all, be the example. You can't teach what you don't do. You can't lead where you won't go. If you don't make salah and you tell your children, well, you're a Muslim, you're supposed to make salah. Come on. You can't force salah on a child. You do it in your home, I promise you. My son, for example, he makes salah regularly. My daughters actually are more punctual on their salah than I am sometimes. It's incredible. I watch them. And Mamolefe said this as well. My kids call me out on stuff, and that's okay. I'm secure within myself. I'm emotionally mature within myself. That I'm okay if they challenge me on something. And is it, and I've got 2 girls and a son, and I want my daughters to be strong women. As Muslim girls, they're not meant to be weak, by the way. This mentality of, oh, they must be quiet, they must be, no. If I did something that needs to be challenged, my daughters can challenge me with respect. My daughters know there's a line when it crosses that you are being disrespectful. You can be strong, you can challenge everything I say. With respect, man, go for it. No worries. My daughters, both of them went to study hadith, for example, in Quran. They went to study. My one daughter studied for 2 years. My other daughter studied for 1 year after university. They, out of their own choice, they wanted to go. And they challenged me. They know more about some of the stuff than I do. So how do you parent in the 21st century as a Muslim parent? First of all, you got to learn yourself as well. Here's the other thing, folks. I see too many people do this. Oh, well, my father did that or my mother did that, so that's the way it should be done. No, your parents were winging it as well. They also had trial and error, frankly. They also sometimes didn't know how to parent. They also made mistakes. A mentor of mine said to me many years ago, Imran, we carry the burdens of our parents. Hear me on that. We carry the burdens of our parents. Some things my father did parenting me were brilliant. Some things he did were not so smart. I have to have the emotional maturity as an adult to understand, that thing that he did or that way that he brought me up in those areas were not smart. I can change it. I don't have to. And I'm not being disrespectful to my father for parenting differently, by the way. You're not being disrespectful to your mother for being a different kind of mother in the 21st century as a Muslim parent. You are being, maybe you're more emotionally mature. Maybe you've done some research. Maybe you need to learn your child's love language, learn your child's personality. By the way, don't bring all your children up the same way. All the kids are not the same. If they were the same, you'd need 1, not 3. I've got 3. So if they were all exactly the same, I'll only have 1. But I have 3. They're different. They're unique individuals. Allah created each one of them individually and unique. So don't try to parent all of them the same way. So how do you be a Muslim parent in the 21st century? Be the example. You cannot teach something you're unwilling to do. And when you make a mistake, you're a human being. You will make a mistake as a parent, by the way. As an adult, when you make a mistake, don't think your kids don't notice. They notice. They know you made a mistake. Admit it. Don't try to hide it. What do you teach your children by hiding your mistake? Whatever that mistake might be. You teach them that when they make a mistake in life, they should keep it quiet. That's what you teach them. Because they will do what you do, not what you say. So if you teach them that I'm a human being, I made a mistake, let me ask for forgiveness. I remember there were times when I would sit my kids down and I have to say, please forgive me. And you know what you teach them? That you're a human being. And when they grow up and they make a mistake, they can ask for forgiveness as well. So to answer your question, how do you parent as a Muslim parent? Be the example. Does it mean you have to be perfect? No. You are not the Prophet ﷺ. You will never be perfect. But they need to see you struggle as well. They need to see you struggle. When you struggle to make your salah on time, but you make the effort, your children watch you. And it's okay. So when they struggle, they don't feel like they're going to Jahannam. Because too many parents if you don't make your salah on time, you're going to Jahannam. Really? And you made your salah every single day of your life on time? You that perfect? No, you didn't. So are you also going to Jahannam? No, just relax. And as parents, we mustn't go this Jannah and Jahannam. You either Allah's going to be displeased with you if you come on. No, Allah loves you. Just relax. Calm down. Allah loves you. You made your salah late. It's okay. Allah loves you. You forgot. Okay. You cheated on your fast while you were a young child. Don't hit them. It's okay. I also cheated on my fasting in Ramadan when I was a young child. I had Smarties in my pocket. I ate Smarties all the time. And I used to go to the toilet 10 times a day, thinking my father didn't notice that I was in the toilet eating Smarties. And my father called me one day and said, "What's in your pocket?" I said to him, "Nothing." He said, "How come you're in the toilet so much?" I said, "I need to go to the toilet." He said, "No, you're fasting. Something's not right." But you know what? He didn't beat the hell out of me. He laughed about it. And then he taught me. So anyway, that's my take on that.
All right. And what about yours, Momolefe?
Wow. Yo. Okay. First of all, I think, like I said, there are two halves. It's like a soccer match for me, being a Muslim parent. You know, the first half was that trying to go by the book, you know, like Imran was saying. Yeah, Salah, you know, enforcement, like, you know. But the second half of it, this is where I think then you sort of learn from the first half to, you know, we must reflect all the time also, just like you reflect on all your deeds, on how much you make your salah and everything, even parenthood, you reflect and see, is this really working? Is this going to what kind of, because you're like a factory. I always say in a house, you are like a factory. And you are trying to sort of help the world to produce a certain kind of human being with a certain kind of character, you know, with good character. And raising a child with good character, I realized it's got nothing to do with you being Muslim or being Christian or Jewish, but it's got to do mainly with character. It's got to do with values. So for me, if you talk about teaching the kids, you know, being a Muslim parent, that alone, I'm like 1 foot in it, 1 foot not, because I'm about character is character. Good character is good character. So the main thing you teach the kids, one, is good character. And as a result, you know, when we had to make a decision about a school to go to, so they started at Islamic schools. Then this last lap of their schooling, especially I've got 2 teenage girls, one in matric, one in grade 10, and I've got 2 small boys, 10 and 7. And we were like, no, you know what? We've tried to model what kind of parents, you know, what kind of life we live and how we respond to things. And whatever that's good, may they take. Whatever that's not, we pray that, you know, they don't, and they call us out on it. So we send them to a school where I think they are, the girls especially, they make, 10% of Muslims in that school. And I think that's also part of being a Muslim parent. Test your kids, not intentionally, but trust them enough. Trust that you've done enough preparation of the soil for the seed to actually start germinating and growing. So that's another part that I think most Muslims, we are very afraid of. We want to keep them all, you know, in a room and, you know, protect them. Allah does the protection. You don't. Even in a house, it's Allah who does the protection. So we need to be able to first instill, prepare the soil, but the second half, let the kids be. And you'll be surprised. I am so pleasantly surprised to see the representation and them being ambassadors of Islam in that school that they are at. So you need to teach and let go. Balance, clutch, accelerator. That's parenthood. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it is true. And also when Imran mentioned earlier that all the children are differently and they have different personalities, I actually wanted to ask about how did you raise each child? And well, unfortunately, time is not on our side, but quickly give us advice on how can we wing this parenting journey, especially for me, since I've only got a 2-year-old and I'm learning a lot from her as well. And well, it's like a give and take. She's learning from me, I'm learning from her. So what advice would you like to give us going forward? I'm going to start with you, Momolefe.
Well, like you said it, wing it. Trust your step. You know, when you are treading a new path, you need to trust yourself. You trust Allah and you trust your step. And also, you need to pay attention to what the child is teaching you. And you need to know when to let go and when to call back, I think. And I'm not saying that's the formula, but that's what has worked for me. And don't be scared to say you are winging it. Like Imran said, we are all winging it. There's no professor, there's no PhD in this thing. When you've got it wrong, you've got it wrong. Alhamdulillah. May Allah make it better and may Allah shine His nur. But all you need to do is just know that we are all winging it. Even as Imran and I are here, we are winging it. Trust your step and trust Allah. And trust your child.
All right. Imran?
That's it.
Well, I think, Mamolefe made a really good points on that, especially, here's the thing is that you're 2-year-old as well. And by the way, parents often have this thing, they think, oh, well, that kid is small, the child doesn't understand. The child's a human being. It's a creation of Allah. So that 2-year-old is a human being. We carry on as adults sometimes like they don't know, they don't understand. No, they do. Everything you're feeling, they're feeling. They're learning from you. So understand that. Your character, they're learning everything. That 2-year-old is a human being. Don't treat them like they don't exist. And you people swear in front of their children. No, they don't understand. Really? No, they do. It's going into their heart, into their soul. So if you just live your character, and please don't isolate your children from other religions. I love what Momolefe said, because your child has to operate in this world. Their character has to be in this world as a human being. We must stop this thing about only mix with Muslims. Really? No. My children mix with everybody. And they become good ambassadors for Islam because I've done the work on the soil, like Momolefe said. And let me leave you, especially men, let me leave you with this thought. And I know women, I can challenge you on this too. Please, never, ever hit your child. Never. There's no such thing as a Muslim or as a human being. Physically connecting your body, your part of your body, your hand, whatever, to another human being to show that I'm right and you're wrong. No, that's illogical. Never ever slap your child. My children, from the day my daughter was born, she's 22 now, she's married last week, alhamdulillah. From the day she was born, I vowed I will never hit my kids and I will never swear them, because what's the point? And alhamdulillah, for 22 years, I've never hit them and never swore at them. Do we have challenges? Of course we do. But if you're struggling as an adult to deal with the challenge, it's because you have not grown personally. If you feel the need to hit your child to prove you are right and they are wrong, what have you taught them? You know what you're teaching them? You're teaching them that one day, and by the way, mothers, I should say this to you as well, because mothers feel, are very close to their sons, for example. If you ever slap your son when they're a teenager and you hit your son, yeah, but he annoyed me, I had to. No, I understand you made a mistake. But one day when he beats up a woman that he's married to, where did he learn it from? He learned it from his parents. You know why? Because when his parents saw him do something that they thought was wrong, they hit him. So he learned that when I think something is wrong by another human being, I must hit them. And we see domestic violence on the increase. We see abuse on the increase. And we teach it as parents to our children. You say, no, I never taught my son to do that. Really? Please never hit your children. Never. That's never the answer. Never. And I can never stress it enough. Anyway, that's my preaching for the moment. But wing it, have fun. Parenting is fun. It's exciting. Learn, read, make a mistake, admit it, stand up, go again, carry on. That's life.
Yeah, indeed, it is life. There's lots of laughs at the age of 2 and lots of tantrums as well. I've had enough of those already, but hey, I'm winging it, as this is the term that we are focusing on right now. But shukran to the both of you for joining me. I wish I could continue with this conversation because I still have lots of questions I still need to ask, but inshallah, maybe we can have a part 2 of this. Shukran, and may Allah make it easy for both of you in your journey. Assalamu alaikum.
Alhamdulillah. Allah bless you, Mamolefe. Allah bless you, Mariam. Shukran for your time.
Amen. All right, that was Imran Chunara as well as Mamolefe Sihume talking about parenting in the 21st century. Lots of ups and downs, lots of happy moments, sad moments, but either way, it's a journey. It's a journey that we all have to take. If we are parents, it's a journey that we all have to take. If you have any comments,
God bless you both.
can leave them in the comment section below, or you can send them to our WhatsApp line on 061 766 0355. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.